Hello, everybody, and welcome to SpoiList, a game list podcast. A podcast brought to you by Game List. Oh, man. I am Jake, a.k.a. Jake Twitchin. This is Kaulin, a.k.a. Kaulin _. What's going on, buddy?
Dude, I'm ready to talk about some Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. It's May the 1st. May the 1st. It's not really a part of the... May the 4th. But it works. We'll let it play.
We're gonna. If you're watching this on May the 4th, put a thumbs up in chat or something. In chat.
Yeah, if you're watching this in general, maybe put a thumbs up on our video.
No,
work hard.
Only on May the 4th. Only on May the 4th.
Got it. We're gonna spoil the fuck out of Star Wars Jedi Survivor today, and
all of it.
All Star Wars things that have happened previous to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think everything's on the table. You know what I mean? As far as the Star Wars meta commentary. If I want to talk about what happened in Mando Season 3, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
There's no relation. I'm not going to do that to you. I know. That's a dig. But anything that relates to the game will be good.
We're going to pop your Jedi cherry today. All right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You haven't played the first game or the second game. Back out now.
That is indeed the right move. Or maybe you're a twisted motherfucker who wants to be here listening to shit because you're never going to play it yourself.
Yeah, if you don't want to play it, then keep listening.
We're going to recap the whole story. We're going to talk about overarching thoughts, and we're going to talk about this with full spoilers on the table. We've both crushed this game in 3 days or less, and we're better for it. So let's hop right into things, and let me just throw it over to you on overall what you think of the game.
I think so. I'm gonna spit a number out. All right, this game is a 10 to me. All right, 10's not perfect. A 10 is a masterpiece. Right, it hits all the right buttons for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the technical issues at launch, this game chugged at times on the PS5.
Yeah, dude. I was watching some of your stream, and I was surprised at how many technical issues you were running into and how poorly it performed compared to... I played this on PC. So first of all, let me tell you about my big brain way of playing EA games on PC. I never buy EA games anymore. Whenever they come out, I spend $15 on EA Play Pro and then play the game via their streaming service. So that's what I did for Jedi Survivor. I've already canceled it once again, so... Shout out to EA for having that. Let me milk that deal. No side quests. We're good. We got what we needed out of the game. But my performance was good, and I don't run a very good computer. I have a GTX 1080 and some sort of 7th gen i7. So the fact that it was running better for me on PC than it was for you on PS5 was interesting. Granted, my settings might have been lower than what PS5 was trying to output. Nonetheless, loading times and stuff like that were rough to see.
Right now, the PC version is broken for most people, and it's the people using new cards. So I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, it seems like the higher end you go, the worse. I mean, that's part of the problem with PC game. That's a very different conversation. Is if you have a 4090, you want to get 4090 type results out of it. So I'm sure these are people that are mad that it's not locked at 60 frames per second at 4K and running silky smooth. So I'm sure if they ran it on the settings that I run it with my GTX 1080, it'd have fine performance as well. But I had some really interesting things, and I kind of wrote this down. The way that we're going to do this, we're going to go chronologically through the story and just unpack things as it happened. But I had some things written down here just for general thoughts that I wanted to kick off the show with and talk about. I did have one hard crash. My hard crash was during the cutscene where you meet Turgle really early in the game. Oh,
that's really early.
And it was just there was a conversation happening between Turgle and either one of the droids, or perhaps it was, what the fuck is the big man's name? Big purple guy. Ravis? Yeah. Where it just the camera went from Turgle to Ravis, and Ravis said a line, but I didn't see Ravis, and then no lines happened, but you could still hear ambient things happening in the shot. So it kind of glitched out and locked up there. Outside of that, really silky smooth running speeds, except for when I first got to Jeddah with all of the sand particles and stuff, seemed to really slow it down. And then terrible performance every single time I opened up the holo table map. You would think it was the most technically impressive thing that a video game has ever done was opening this map, because everything chugged so bad. That, and then the funniest thing is that the Respawn logo lags so badly too.
The Respawn logo chugs
right when you boot up the
game.
Yeah, so strange. It
doesn't make sense. It's like a PNG. What's going on?
Yeah, it is. It is a very bizarre thing, but that is indeed.
So I did not have any bugs at all. I didn't have any hard crashes. I didn't have any weird bugs or anything that stalled my progress. Only problem I had was performance. It was just
Yep.
frame drops
Nice.
and screen tears.
Yeah, and thank God, I know that there's been some nightmarish conversations happening online about people losing saves, corrupted data, unable to even progress, soft locks, hard locks, the whole 9 yards. So we were fortunate. I rolled credits in 22 hours on easy mode, and then halfway through I switched it to story mode because I'm not very good at video games, but I love them.
I'm looking up at the TV right now. I have my PlayStation pulled up. According to the PlayStation, which normally it counts a little low, I'm at 23 hours, and I played the entire thing in normal mode.
Nice. Actual gamer.
With moderate side questing.
Then the other thing that I just wanted to talk about was that this game came out, I just wanted to look it up and make sure that I was correct, because it did feel like in my head there was a long time between Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. And I remember it was like it was a weird thing with Jedi Survivor's release date. I was looking at like the ramp up to this release, and they did like a pretty unceremonious, I think it was like at a Game Awards, like a Gamescom, where they just like brought the mic to one of the developers. We're like, we are working on the follow-up to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I remember that was the announcement for the game. Like, hey, we're doing a sequel, and it was just a guy talking to Keeley. And then there was really nothing until about a year ago, where they had the teaser trailer, and then they really ramped up like 5 months ago, at the Game Awards. They did the reveal trailer.
That was the first gameplay trailer we had.
Yeah, and it was a lot of just like kind of an expanded teaser trailer. We'll roll those as a B-roll at some point. Hey, we'll roll them right now. If you're watching the video version, you have access to these sweet visuals. Look how good we are at this shit.
I actually like that. I like their marketing for this game, because it's the marketing started and the game was out within like a year. Yeah, and I think that's the ideal like marketing interval, I guess, marketing length. I don't want to be waiting for this game for 8 years.
No.
You know?
And it was 3.5 years, basically 3.5 years. AAA came out in November of 2019 was the release date on consoles and PC for Jedi Fallen Order, which is pretty crazy. 3.5 years to put this game out is pretty impressive. I feel like there's a lot of shit going on. Definitely built on the architecture of a prior generation's console, no doubt. But I think visually it looks really, really good. Obviously, we've already talked about some of the technical issues, but as far as like what they created as a world this time around, super fucking impressive, man. Like, this game was wild. They were doing some work over here. Do you have anything else for like general stuff before we hop into the thing? Anything about like gameplay? Anything that sticks out to you? That you think we should mention at the top?
I'm blown away by how fun all of the stances are.
All right,
we will get into the more that we talk about it, but those excited me more than probably anything else in the game.
That's interesting. I'm on the other side of it, where the gameplay was fine for me. I don't love it. It's fun. It's good lightsaber combat. Maybe I do love it. But the thing for me is like the exploration of the games. I loved the traversal, the mechanics. Cal moved somehow even smoother than I remembered him moving in previous Jedi. It's just really, really dope shit. Like, I had so much fun picking up the other skills that would add to the traversal. I think they built on everything, where towards the end of it, some of the stuff that I was doing was like super impressive, and I felt like I was rolled into that very elegantly. Like, I was never... Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, it should be noted that this game starts with all the skills and abilities that you end the first game with. So you have your force push and pull, you have your single blade and double blade lightsaber, you have like the double jump, like every traversal ability and every combat ability you had at the end of the first game, you have at the start of this game. They didn't Metroid you at all.
Cool. But they will be Metroiding you in the future.
Well, I don't know. Which I think I think that helped with onboarding in this game. It was super fun from the rip. I think the problem with that is it made the progression of the new skill trees kind of boring.
Yeah.
How did you feel about
super boring, especially playing it at such a trivial difficulty like I did? So many of the things are like block based or enhancing your stims or your survivability, and it was basically all of that stuff was pretty much useless to me. You know what I mean? So at a certain point, at a certain point,
I don't really know if you can blame the game for that one. But
no. But I was just drilling things in there. But I agree.
Yeah.
Basically, is what I'm saying. The only other thing that I have written down for like traversal, as much as I liked it, is there were sometimes, I don't know if this comes from just like the way that Cal handles. Maybe it's because it's like respawn, and some ways it feels like a third person, like Apex Legends type of movement with how smooth it is. I always just like wanted to slide with Cal.
Oh,
like
me
so
too.
many times I wanted to just be like, could I just hold B and just like get a little bit of momentum and then jump?
I would press circle
Yeah.
and expect to slide, and I would just kind of dodge forward.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like there is something to that. Like I think that would be a really cool thing to implement, and it would be nice. Almost like I mean, think about how many 3D platformers the move is like you run and then you kind of like duck and then jump to get your extra little boost, like your long jump in Ratchet and Clank or Mario 64. Both come to mind. I think that could play. Maybe next time. But okay, let's hop into this thing and we'll unpack as we go. Go ahead.
Oh well, the last thing on the traversal, my least favorite thing is when you jump off of a ledge and you die because it fades to black before you hit the ground, but you're like a foot away from the ground. It's like, just let me drop all the way down.
Yep.
It's very annoying.
It's definitely like a push-pull on. If they don't have that implemented, there's no real universal way to keep you out of places you're not supposed to be. But I also felt like I cheesed that accidentally on a couple times too, where I was like, oh, I was supposed to die there, but actually I clipped onto the geometry on my way down, and now I'm alive down here. Which I think set me back in like a random platforming puzzle too at some point. But okay, let's hop into this thing and start just going chronologically, and we'll just take detours as we fucking get there. So the game opens up on Coruscant, and I am a fucking sucker for Coruscant, dude.
Coruscant is great.
It looks so good, and it's like the perfect area where you're in like kind of the Undercity, so it is sort of like neon and grimy down there, but still has that futuristic space feel. And if you look up, you've got all the iconic, like, you know, Star Wars Episode 2, 3 Coruscant shit going on. So really, really dope visuals, awesome environments, and this is where you meet Bode, your homie, for the first time. And
that does not bode well.
That's my joke. Don't take my joke.
I'm taking your jokes.
And this is so funny because Kaulin and I had the same thought about Bode, where way back in the day when this game was revealed, you can look at our Game List Reacts for the Game Awards, and at the 142.20 mark, this guy is shown on screen, and I go, who's this guy that's going to betray you? Probably. He looks like a betrayer, which is just as good as it gets.
I agreed. I also think I thought from the start that he was gonna betray us, which he does. But
I honestly kind of went back and forth. At first, I thought he would heel turn earlier, and then after he didn't for a while, I thought we were in the clear. And then at a certain point, I was like, "Oh, this guy's gonna fuck us." Like,
so that's what I thought. I was on his side for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was looking through the trophies. I wasn't looking at like the spoiler trophies or anything, but it was one trophy that it was like, use the companion ability with both partners 10 times each or something like that. So then I was looking it up, and I was like, well, how do I use Bode's companion ability or Marin's companion ability when we're not playing together or we're not in a mission together? So I looked it up on like a trophy guide, and it's like, you better do it in this mission or this mission, because you're not going to do it after that. And then that got me thinking, so Bode's probably not going to be on our team after a certain point or something along those lines. Either he's not going to be on our team or Bode would die or something like that. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't trust Bode so much.
Yeah, I was in the other camp with Bode, where I was just like, I was actually like really on board. Like at first I thought he was kind of like a slimy, like almost like a smuggler archetype kind of, despite being like almost like a bounty hunter hired hand type of character as well. But after a while, I was really like down. Like Bode seemed like the fucking homie for a while, and I really dug. Yeah, I dug his character. I don't exactly dig where he goes, but you know, it works out. But Coruscant was really good. And do you know your Star Wars 1313?
Yeah, Star Wars 1313, developed by Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig was leading that, right? Visceral, a bunch of people from Visceral.
Yep.
Was canceled, even though it was supposedly like one of the best looking.
It was a fucking technical showpiece and was showed off in grand form. really, really dope shit. But it definitely evokes some of that, especially in the Coruscant levels, just with the atmosphere that you're in during that time. So really, really dig that throwback. This is the closest that we've ever gotten to that, no doubt. But anything else from Coruscant worth talking about?
So
that initial crew is really good.
Yeah, the crew is great. I thought we were gonna get so much more of them. So there's Gabs, the twins, and Beta. What was his name? I can't remember.
I didn't remember any of those. Good job pulling Gabs and the twins.
It was Gabs, the twins, and I think it was like Beta or something.
Yeah.
But pretty much you're playing as Cal, and you're trying to infiltrate like a senator on Coruscant to get some information from him.
Yep.
Of course, things go wrong, and then by the end of leaving Coruscant, everyone in your squad has died except for Bode.
Yep.
So Bode makes it out, and you crash land on Kobo.
Yeah, it's a good bait and switch too from that opening mission of like, basically by the end of that prologue, you think you're going to experience one game, like one story, and by the time you crash land on Kobo, you're like, I have no idea actually where the fuck this is going, because I thought this was going to be like a much different thing. I thought that Sender was going to be a big deal. I thought there were going to be Inquisitors around all the time. Just wild progression. Kobo starts off strong. So Kobo is kind of done in like 3 parts for this first like set here. So the first thing is kind of your open world tutorial where they sort of dump you off and they say you got to go the rest of the way on foot, and this is your sort of explore the open world, which is definitely really cool. And then once you get to the, what's the name of the area?
Ramblers Ranch? I don't know.
That doesn't sound too far
Ravine?
off. Yeah,
Ramblers. Sure. Oh God.
Sure. But you get there and you meet Turgle. You meet a lot of characters here, basically, for the first time. So the next character that you meet is the fucking legend, Turgle, who has the same voice as the character from fucking Psychonauts, Raz. And Turgle's the homie. He's a side character. But, you know, he's basically used as a device to introduce Ravis, who seems like a potential... I don't know, he never... And in my head, he didn't seem like he was the whole game's villain ever. He seems like the first villain, but he just seemed like he would be, oh, this is some local dingbat that I'm going to have to take down in the first level. I didn't realize he was going to be as big as he ended up actually being, and he was, you know, essentially the sub-boss. But cool character. What do you think about Ravis in general? We'll obviously talk some more about him.
So I was confused, like, his species, right? Like, he looks familiar. Like, he's got, like, that Star Wars, like, do I know his, like, have I seen these guys before? But turns out his species can live like until they're killed.
Yeah, and they regenerate shit. They're little nightmare. I forgot what they're called, like Gundark or some shit like that. But they're a little nightmare. I was gonna say it's interesting. Like, I don't know. Star Wars has a thing for large purple beasts for some reason. Because you see him and you're almost like, oh, is he the Zeb type of alien? No, he is not that. And then there's another character from Clone Wars, like a kind of a rogue Jedi that I absolutely despise, and many other people do. Someone's going to comment and tell me exactly who he is.
Rambler's Reach is the name of
Rambler's Reach.
On Kobo. Yeah,
good call. But yeah, pretty cool, mostly one-note character. Well, not really one-note. He ends up having some pretty cool conversations later on in the story. He seems...
Pong Krell is the name.
Pong Krell is who I'm fucking thinking of. Fuck Pong Krell, dude. Do you know this character? Have you seen that episode?
I know Pong Krell. He's a jerk, bro.
Real fucking jerk. Good shit, but
yeah, no, he's you think he's gonna be a one-note character, and then actually, whenever you confront him later on, I was actually kind of like, oh dang, this guy's honestly probably not that bad. He's probably not like a bad guy. He's just...
He seemed like he had other motives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he had he had been imprisoned by the Republic for hundreds of years, waiting for his master, who we will get to like, I don't know, let him out or whatever. And then when the Empire, all the shenanigans happened, he escaped. And then that's where he ended up on Kobo.
Yeah.
But you meet him at the start of Rambler's Reach. Honestly, the earlier parts of this game are a little forgettable. Is that? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
It sounds harsh. It sounds harsh, but this game like ramps up. It is a constant uphill. Like it's
slow rolls
getting better
you.
and better and better. Yeah.
I think it does a good job of balancing like what you should be focused on in that moment, where the story is super light in these opening hours, but the exploration and being dumped into the sandbox and getting familiar with your movement and your skills again, and just kind of getting immersed and learning some of the new functions of the town that you can build up and the bar and the NPCs in this area is just a really cool way of like, hey, it's okay. You don't need to have all that story going on right now. I don't think it hinders it too much, but I would agree.
Yeah.
So you go in and go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I think this part of the game struggles for me just because you're dumped into this big open area of Kobo, and that is one of the worst performing areas in the game, and it kind of puts a damper on.
I had much worse performance in Jedi.
Oh no, my worst performance was in Kobo. Really,
Kobo was probably my strongest performance.
Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah. So
actually, I don't know. It was kind of universal across the way, except for Jedi had a couple hiccups.
Gotcha.
But we ended up working our way into the bar, and we ended up catching up with Grease. And then
Greasy money, baby.
Yeah, Grease is fucking sick. Obviously, still the homie.
I love Grease.
And you end up going through your third section of the Kobo, the initial Kobo visit, which is exploring underneath the bar, I guess. And this is where you meet. Is it V?
Z. It's
Z. Z.
Yeah.
Very good droid from the High Republic era.
The High Republic, which threw me for a loop. I was not expecting High Republic stuff in this game, but I was pleasantly surprised.
I want to say that during the initial reveal trailer, when they showed the guy in the fucking, I always do the same thing with Star Wars. Like I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. As you can probably tell by listening to this, I've got a good grasp of everything that's going on. Not quick with names and eras and stuff like that. Just not my forte. So I do a lot of like, hey, I kind of have a loose understanding here. Let's go to Reddit and have them explain that to me, you know? So I did that after one of those trailers, and I remember the villain that was sitting in there being theorized to be High Republic era. So pretty cool. But meeting V and her old Jedi Master and sort of laying the groundwork for what's to come as we roll to the next spot, which is climbing the first
climbing the first array, like the forest array.
Yep. We get to the top, and that's the reveal of Dagan Gera, right?
Dagan Gera.
Now this motherfucker is a cool villain.
Yes.
And honestly, underutilized, man. And my first big disappointment of the game. And the first knock that I have.
I do think he was.
And we'll get there too. But underutilized, I think one of the coolest fucking villains. I could have seen him doing two games worth of being the villain and finally catching his fucking actual ass whooping at the end of the next game, you know?
Yeah.
All things considered, I thought that this game would end on a more grim note as we were leading up to it than it did. I thought it was going to get its Empire Strikes Back style ending.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm glad it didn't. Like I understand. Like I am a fan of you have a villain and that villain is dealt with. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of cliffhangers just because I don't like waiting. You know.
Yeah.
And I like to see resolution. So I enjoyed this character. I do wish we got to see a little more of him. Honestly, there were 3 fights with him throughout the game.
Yeah.
So we got to see more of him than really any other character.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I think he was just fucking rad. And I think his reasoning for being a villain was cool. I think everything that was going on with this character was hitting on all fronts. And again, I really love the High Republic influence. Super cool.
Yes.
To a point, I actually thought that we might be getting Yoda in this game at some point. Because chances are, I don't know. And somebody, if anyone hardcore enough knows in the comments, I bet they're going to be able to fucking asterisk and correct 1,000 things that we talk about today. But the only character that we know of that could have possibly intersected with this character would have been Yoda, because Yoda is around and active and in a Jedi Knight during the High Republic era. Like, Yoda is the character from the High Republic that anchors it from the, standard era of Star Wars, basically. Because Yoda's like chilling at like 500, 600 years old, basically, just in his fucking prime, bro. So I thought that there would be like, I don't know. I guess if I was writing this game, 2/3 of the way through, you meet up with Yoda, and Yoda has a history flashback scene or something with Dagan Gera, and then he teaches you some sort of move that you use against him. That kind of MacGuffin type bullshit. But I don't know. It didn't go that way. We're headed off to Jeddah, and Jeddah was a cool location. Did we know that was going to be like an active location in this game ahead of?
I didn't. Anytime I see a desert planet in Star Wars, I assume it's Tatooine, because you always end up on Tatooine.
Yeah.
But I'm pleasantly surprised that it was not Tatooine.
Yeah. And Jeddah was cool because we'd only really seen Jeddah City from Rogue One.
So in Rogue One, you go to Jeddah and Saw Gerrera is there, right? It should be noted, the very first mission of the game in Coruscant, you're on a mission for like Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera is name dropped like 10 times in this game.
Multiple times in this game. We saw him in the first game.
And you can bring up, if you bring up his codex or whatever, it's got a fucking picture of him too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I think it's the same model as what's it called,
game?
but like he's like mentioned and like visibly on screen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was like a cut or something. I feel like that's
possibly
a line. Like, I mean, you meet Saul in the first game. Saul dies on Jeddah. So I imagine by the end Saul would be on Jeddah. But he wasn't, and we never saw him. So I really thought we were going to see Saul Gerrera.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
I was very surprised.
So we head to Jeddah, which is cool, and we're introduced once again to Marin. So we're on our way to see Seer, and Marin is there, which is surprising to Cal. And you're pretty hot on Marin in the Marical?
Absolutely, dude.
Marical?
Calmarin?
Kaulin?
Calrin. It's almost Kaulin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, I'm hot on it, bro. Oh yeah. I'm looking at the Saw. Saw model right now. It's from the previous game.
Got it.
But no, I love Marin, dude. Marin's
and she's cool, and she's cool now. Look at her outfit.
Okay. I like her outfit from the first game better. I like her haircut from the first game better. But regardless, Marin is one of the coolest Star Wars characters. Give me a game where I can play Marin. Give me a DLC to this game that's a mini Marin campaign. I want it. I love Marin, and I didn't think they were actually going to go the romance route with these two, because normally what happens in a game is like, oh, that'd be great if those two got together, right? And then that never happens. Like, I feel like people are so like hesitant to put like romance in their games anymore, or in any media really. And then there's a moment on Jeddah when Marin kisses Cal, and I'm like, let's
smooching,
go,
bro.
This is it. This is what I wanted from the first game.
I like to see a Jedi. I like to see a Jedi getting down and dirty. It's such a common theme at this point. It feels like every Jedi has kind of wavered with the whole like, wouldn't it be cool to just bang a little bit type of thing, which is definitely like. I mean,
absolutely.
There was even some like, I thought with what's the Jedi Master's name that found Tanalorr with Gera? I forgot her name.
Oh, hold on. I have the codex pulled up over here. I always forget her name.
I thought they were trying to get to Tanalorr to bang too. That kind of sensed a little.
Santari Kree. Yeah, dude.
Kree.
They definitely had like an unspoken thing.
Yeah, I bet they tried it just 100%. To see how it feels.
Yeah, so did Eno, Cordova, and Seer.
No doubt. No doubt. Dude, Cordova being back is so weird, just to fucking ice him out too.
Yeah, he was dead in the first game, and then you turn up, and I'm like, I think I was streaming when I met him. I'm like, I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What about Seer's new tattoos? What about her new look?
I like it.
I mean, it's all right, but it feels like It feels like I don't know.
She got real like culty and extremist, and it's a pretty like common Star Warsy thing.
It does feel very extremist.
Yeah. I think it was like a cool look though, and it differentiates her character from the first game and this game, just as far as like where she's at. But we'll get into some weird seer shit too. Like I have a real problem with a certain point in this game that we're sort of building up to.
Oh, it should be noted, Seer is on Jeddah trying to rebuild the Jedi
Seer's rolling
archives.
with the hidden path, dude.
Yeah.
And do you know the hidden path? This one I saw in a Reddit thread, and I didn't put it together.
Is the hidden path not from Rogue One?
I don't think maybe. But
okay,
this is the Quinlan Voss. Hidden path is referenced heavily in like episodes of Obi-Wan. It's what the girl that plays the Ilaria Sand is working for. There's like the underground like Jedis that are trying to do a bunch of work on the Lolo, trying to rebuild secretly. And Quinlan Voss's name is scribbled into the fucking thing, and he's from Clone Wars. You'd remember him if you saw him. Actually, so that's where I thought it was going. Again, there's a lot of things where it felt like they were, if you know like shallow amounts of a little bit of like Star Wars lore, I was like, oh, we're getting Yoda. Oh, we're getting Quinlan Voss. And maybe that's me setting myself up poorly and just thinking a little bit too grand for what the scope is here. But that happened to me on a number of occasions that I was like, ah, shit. So I guess that's not the route that we're going. Jeddah was, you go to Seer, then you do the light beam puzzle to find the MacGuffin. Light beam puzzle was the one where you're doing a bunch of like tilting the lights to burn away the shrubs, and then you're gliding so that you can catch air.
Oh, that was back on Kobo.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because that was like High Republic tech. There's no High Republic tech on Jeddah.
Fuck, you're right. You're right.
All that's on Kobo.
All right, so to the moon.
Yeah, so then you go to the shattered moon. This is such a cursed story recap. It's okay.
Yeah, no.
If you want a story recap, go somewhere else.
For sure.
So then you go to the moon, the shattered moon, where there's like a base of some sort. So the forest.
I fucking love this shit, dude.
The moon base?
Yeah, the moon was my favorite one. It was the perfect size. I felt like.
Yeah, because Kobo's quite large. It's a little overwhelming. The moon is a good size, and then later on, oh god, what's it called? Where Bode goes later on. The Crystal Empire base. That's a good size too. It's a little small.
Oh, fucking Nova Garen.
Yes. So like you go to the moon because they're turning on this big laser that
moon has cross saber.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. They turn on the laser that goes from Kobo, and it shoots it up to the moon to a receiver up there. And you're like, what's going on? So you go up there to investigate it, where you find where you find Dagon and Rakus, right? Ravix?
I don't fucking know.
Oh my god.
That's the problem. So now we're getting into so that's where we get to the problem is that at this point we've now been to Kovo, Jeddah, and the moon, and we're gonna go back to each of these places once, if not twice. And it does start to blur together of like, oh, we're going to activate an array or find a MacGuffin or defeat the guy. Like it is just a little bit like video gamey and tropey, and I think that this game is maybe, it sounds stupid, but I feel like it's 5 or 6 hours too long. Like there's just some of that stuff that could have been
I disagree there.
cut, you know what I mean? Like it's nice that it's as beefy as it is, but I just don't know. It just goes to show you like, you know, we're just using like the story as kind of like, or the progression, the route that we took as an outline to talk about some pivotal characters and plot points here. But as you go through it and you're trying to track of like 2 parts in Jeddah, go to the moon, back to Jeddah, back to Kobo, back to moon, it does get a little fucking like, what were we doing there? What was happening at that time? Oh, was this then? And I think that's a knock.
It's definitely, it has that setup to reinforce the Metroidvania aspect to it, right? Like you finally get to a door at the end that's locked and you can't go to it yet, so then you have to go.
And you know what that did to me? It caused me.
Disliked it?
Well, no. Well, yeah, that too. But it caused me. I thought that the Metroidvania aspects of it, at a certain point, when I first started on Kobo, I did the most of my side questing that I ended up doing in the game. So I was in there, I was doing a lot of work. I was, running in different directions to see if I could find this, that, or the other thing. And then I ended up running into so many red walls that I was like, it's fucking pointless to be doing any of this side shit now when half of the stuff that I do is come back here later. I might as well just beeline the fucking story, and then once I have all the skills, if I feel like it, I'll go clean it all up. And I didn't end up feeling like that at the end of the game. You know what I mean? I think
I get
that's
that.
like a knock on Metroidvanias. Then it is,
yeah. I think that's just a weakness of Metroidvanias, because I was saying that yesterday as I was streaming it, is I could sit here and do side quests, but every 2 out of 3 paths that I go down are blocked off. So I really just need to grind through until I get all the skills to open up each door or whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
To go through, which a strength that I think this game does is typically in Metroidvanias, you go up to a door and you're like, oh, I'm going to need the bomb to open this door. In this game, I had no idea what I needed to open these doors. Like, I'd see stuff in the distance, and I'm like, I know I can't utilize that right now, but I have no idea how I will use that.
My brain didn't
even
fucking go there.
See, I was like, I don't know what skill they're going to give me to be able to use this, but I'm excited for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Which it was right around this time. You go to the moon for the first time, and what do you do? Oh, this is when you get a MacGuffin. You're getting one of the things, because you have to go to 2 different places to get 2 things. And then
am I knocking you down from a 10 yet?
No, not at all.
The things. Yeah, you do get the things. When you get the things, the one thing that I do have written down here for a note is, holy fuck, the music. They play that Force theme. But it's like a really epic, like, ancient sounding holy version of it, where you grab that MacGuffin that's so fucking good. And we haven't really talked about the music. Can we talk about that fucking jam, dude? In the cantina.
Look, can you play it right now? Can you play it while we're talking about it?
I've got the fucking skills.
Yeah, it's not copyrighted. I don't think so.
I can pull that up. Did you unlock any of the other stuff, like in that area from the shop, or sounds?
What do you mean, like buying
any other music tracks? Buy stuff from whatever the fuck, Turgle's mom and shit like that.
Yeah, I bought more stuff. That's a trophy to buy all of her stuff, so I've been working through that. Lots of customization stuff, which I will say, one of my complaints with the customization of this game is they took away the ability to change the Mantis's paint job. That was in the first game, but it wasn't in this game.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I'm not huge on customization. Like, my guy was pretty vanilla most of the time.
Yeah.
But I do like changing the paint job of the Mantis, and that was not an option.
I liked grabbing the fucking headband hair for Cal. I felt good about that. Also, just, in the background, we are playing Ebb and Flow, which is the #1 track on that fucking jukebox. Well, what a jam.
Yeah, funny enough, it's also the most streamed one on Spotify, too.
Is it really?
It's the most popular one.
It's way better than it has any business being. I play it for some of my stream intros and stuff.
Are way better than they have any business being.
Yeah.
If you find like the what's it called, like the jukebox quest line or whatever, to find that boy, so good.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, it's so good. It makes the cantina, the bar feel so alive. The bar really grows over time. Like more people, more conversations. It starts to feel very alive. The bar starts to feel as alive as Hogwarts did in Hogwarts Legacy.
I guess in a really small capacity, yeah. It's just
in a very
couple
small
rooms.
Yeah.
So speaking of really good things, the next part of the game is, I believe, back to Jeddah, where you end up in the crazy fucking drill fight, trying to save Brother Man. And let me tell you, that's the coolest part of the game.
It was it was the best set piece in the game.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Such cool feeling progression through it too. Like getting all of the moves, the dashes and shit like that down, and then utilizing it in such a way that you're rolling through those fucking portals and stuff is an absolute blast, dude. I had a really fucking good time with it.
That's also when that's when you unlock the dash, the air dash, which is really fun.
Yep.
And that is when Marin kisses you for the first time, because like you guys are like in a rough spot and the drill's coming for you. And for those of you who are curious, this is like a drill from like the Clone Wars that the Separatists use to drill into like the Camino bases. That's what I thought it was at first. I was like, why do they have this Clone Wars drill? But I guess this was an Empire like retrofit or something.
Yeah.
Like the new version that we've just never seen before.
Yep.
So it's a huge drill that looks like an octopus or a squid or whatever.
Super cool.
And then you guys are like cornered, and Marin's like, "Do you trust me?" And Cal's like, "Yes." So then she kisses you and does like witchcraft, and then you start flying around and jumping through portals.
If I had a nickel, bro.
Yeah.
Girls always be kissing you and then doing magic.
Dude, that was the best. That was the best set piece in the game. The music was wonderful. This game nails the music all the way around. I mean, it's very important for Star Wars to always nail the music, I guess. But it was great. And then you go, trying to remember. Gosh, it does get kind of difficult to remember where you go when.
The next thing is the Lucre Hulk back on Kaulin.
So the Lucre Hulk, I think, is my favorite part. I'm a sucker for
the prequel
stuff.
Yeah, so the prequel trilogy influence all over this game is so fucking good, dude. And the Lucre Hulk is where they have it in spades. It's B1 and B2 battle droids, like it's going out of fucking style. It's the rolling little nightmare bubble droids for the first time, which are so fucking cool to see. So much fun. Yeah, dude, it's just really good shit. And then once you're in like the Lucre Hulk, it's not as like, I thought it would end up being my favorite part of the game, like for a visual aesthetic goes, but that ends up being the what's it called place, the Nova Garen.
Like the sky. Nova Garen. Okay.
Yeah. Just because it's like that super clean Star Wars spacey. It looks like the interior of like the Death Star or a Starfighter. You know what I mean? Like it's the most quintessential Star Wars interior, basically, for me. But the Lucre Hulk comes close to that early on. And again, I just love the Episode 1 influence there.
I think this game does such a wonderful job of having like a sense of history, this one and the previous one, because you're flying around or whatever, you're going to all these areas and you see these crashed Clone Wars era ships, and you're like, oh, there was a battle fought here. Like in the previous game, you go swimming around like a Republic frigate or whatever, and or something like that, and you have like floating clone troopers in the water and everything. And in this game, you go to the Lucre Hulk, which is the droid equivalent, I guess, and you know they're crashed vulture droids, and then like Ravis is using an LAAT to fly around in. And it feels like a world that has adapted to survive using technology of the past.
Yeah.
And I just love any Clone Wars reference that I can get. Anything about the clones or tech from that time. And the Lucre Hulk section is the section when you get it the most.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It also ends that segment with some pretty cool shit. It's, to me, the most badass boss fight of the game. It's where you see Garen start to like showcase his fucking power. Okay, he kind of is like fresh out the bacta tank, and in this part, this is the second fight with him. He doesn't have the Force hand, which he ends up growing, but he is just using. What's the medical term?
Nub.
Hospital. Okay, nub is what I was gonna fucking say.
Yeah.
All right. I thought there was
or stump. We call it stump a lot too.
Jesus, is that really what you guys call it?
Yeah.
What's the bedside manner way to talk about that thing?
Well, when we talk about people like having like sometimes people get infections on their amputation site, so we call them stump infections.
Dog. Oh, that sounds wrong. That's what my uneducated ass would say. That's so funny. I was gonna call it stump. You can't take stump. I have stump. But so cool, dude. Him just kind of like fucking shifting and just literally holding that lightsaber out with the fucking Force is some of the coolest shit in the fucking world. There's a bunch of cool lightsaber maneuvers. One of the ones that
so good.
Dude, this is jumping ahead, but did you fight a pair of like bounty hunters holding lightsabers at one point?
No, I did not get. I've fought a couple bounty hunters with lightsabers, but not a
Dude,
pair of them.
I just stumbled upon this when I thought I was going on the critical path and I wasn't.
Was
and
it
one of them
called
does
the half and the other half or whatever?
I don't think
Because
so.
I have a quest for fighting like the half and the other half or whatever.
Maybe though. I don't know. It's the only 2-person fight that I had against like actual like humanoid type characters. But one of them had a double-sided lightsaber and does the move that Cal does in the first one where he fucking turns the lightsaber off and then fucking ignites it again so that it would like ideally the blade would fucking go through him and Cal dodge. It's so fucking sick.
It's so good.
But really good. And that's the one that Bode comes through for you too, and fucking Z is there. You're on the Z rescue mission after you fight him, and Z has the line. It's the only, I think, quote that I wrote down this entire time, but she delivers it so well, and it's 2 warriors at the height of their power, bound in brotherhood. This is the stuff of legends. Which is
I did not
so
hear that.
fucking good, dude.
I did not.
It's right after like they both do some badass fucking escape type shit, and it's just awesome.
Well, I think I was probably messaging you at that point because this entire time when something crazy would happen, I'd send you a message and be like, dude,
bro,
he's
yeah,
fighting with 2 lightsabers when he only has 1 arm.
Yep.
It was great.
You also
so right about
see the conversation between Ravis and Garen about Ravis fulfilling his debt and trying to retire. It seems like he's just kind of over it. Which I get, bro. It's hard out there.
Yeah, and it was right around this time, I believe, that I started to think, like, are we any better than the Empire? Like, we keep talking about how the Empire stops at nothing to get what they want, and they just tear through everything they see. And I'm sitting here thinking, I kill every animal and every being I come across just to get what I want. Am I any better?
As like a player character, Cal is like a very shitty Jedi. And in general, that's like a big problem with the Jedi and like a bigger Star Wars concept. It was like the idea of the gray Jedi and how like there is no like altruistic righteous path to fucking take. Like,
yeah,
it's a cool Star Wars concept. I think the short answer for Cal is fucking hell no. He's doing his own thing. He's very like, there's a lot of echoes of Ahsoka to me for Cal in like his training and like where the majority of it is taking place outside of the bounds of like an actual typical Jedi order being in place. So I feel like they're kind of fast and loose with the rules, which is rad. But
I think like Cal would not be a Jedi if the Order was still around. Like,
no, he'd
based
be
on
kicked
his
out.
actions.
For sure.
Yeah. But I'm trying to formulate words here. He does start to struggle with the dark side later on in this game, which I think is really cool. I'm glad they went that direction with it. But he also asks the question, I believe right around this time, or maybe it was a little after, of, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I on like a righteous crusade, or am I like lowering myself to the Empire's level, right?
Mm-hmm.
He starts to question his own motives, which I appreciate, because everyone in this game, I think they do a really good job of all of the villains have good motives. I liked all of the villains in this game.
So not to jump ahead, but I do not agree with that. I think Bode is like super fucked at the end. Like I will be asking you to justify.
Okay. No, that's totally fair.
I think the other two do, and again, that's getting at like kind of my core issues here is like, I think Garen and Ravis, prime time, dude, so good, and I think Bode so good until a certain point. The next spot though is I was just gonna say with Ravis in that fight, like that section of Kobo and then Moon kind of blend together is it's basically like pursuit of Ravis, and then it gets to like basically the Ravis finale, which we fucking killing his ass, dude.
We go from the moon to the Lucre Hulk, back to the moon to kill Ravis.
It actually depends on which order you do that in. For me, I went Moon Jeddah, because that's the only branching point in the thing where you have to go get the 2 MacGuffins or whatever.
Oh, I thought we
And
already
you
got
can-
the 2 by this point.
Yeah, you already got the 2 MacGuffins, but you can do them in either order. So you can go to the moon or back to Jeddah at that point.
Oh, okay.
So
So
I went immediately. I was like, I want to go to the fucking moon. You went to Jeddah. So I went to the moon and then Jeddah. You went Jeddah and then the moon. Then you went back to Kobo and then back to the moon. Whereas I went moon, back to Jeddah, back to Kobo, back to the moon. It's so fucked. I'm telling you. Yeah. That's a problem. Ravis's ending in Cal just straight up fucking killing him, given a warrior's death, was so sick too. Like, I liked that. I think that's good closure, and he's a cool fucking character.
I also think Ravis talked in the past how Dagon bested him in combat, so he was forced to follow him. So then as a player, I was like, okay, well, I just bested him in combat. Can I force him to follow me? So Cal asks that question.
Yeah.
He tries, and then Ravis
He's
is like
fucking over it, bro.
And then we end up killing Ravis. Which was a good.
And I love that. I like the Cal be fucking murdering fools, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll never guess. Oh, that actually the Ravis fight is where I knocked down the difficulty. I died to Ravis a couple times. And I went down to story mode.
Yeah,
I went down to story mode, and I fucking... Dude, story mode is so trivial, though. I feel like the jump in difficulty from story mode to easy mode is gigantic. And even, like, easy, like, I could have, mustered it and tried a couple times, but after I died twice, I was like, fuck this. I'm trying to enjoy my Star Wars story. I will say, there's a method of thinking where the ideal way to play this game is actually on story mode, though. Like,
just to
as cool as the combat is, slicing through every enemy like fucking butter is so sick, dude. Like, the fucking power fantasy halfway through, as far as like when I changed it, felt perfect. We go back to Kobo here, and we meet Scuba Stev, which is super on the nose for a funny character name. It's Scuba Steve.
Oh
fucking
my God.
Big Daddy or whatever.
Scuba. I love Stev. Scuba. I literally have a note. Irish slug guy named Scuba.
Yeah.
I think I met him earlier than you because I was exploring. Because you can find him earlier if you just explore more. But Scuba's great. Have you? Well, I guess you haven't really done.
I only interacted him that one time.
Oh, that's tough. He tells all sorts of stories about his fishing journeys, and he goes and you'll meet him in the world at different like ponds and stuff, and he'll go fishing and he just jumps off his little boat and like plops into the water, and it makes like a little like bloop sound whenever he hits the water.
Like a turd hitting the water.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to hear that to know. I know.
Also on the Shattered Moon, I wrote down Grease. Whenever you kill Ravis and you're leaving the moon, I believe this is when it is, you get back to the Mantis and Grease is singing, and he's singing, you're running for... Should I sing this? Sure, you should sing this.
I don't know it at all.
He said, you're running from a blaster, better run a little faster to Pyloon Saloon on the Shattered Moon. And it's like, bro, Grease, you are wonderful. I love everything that Grease. I love everything.
I don't think I heard that.
It was in a cutscene.
Oh, all right.
You probably missed it. It was late last night when I.
Makes sense. On Kobo, this is where you get the electro dart. Oh, also we picked up the balloon jump as well. Just more Metroidvania tropes. The electro dart to me is like super annoying. Like, I didn't love. That's just like here's like an annoying like menu-y thing you need to do. Like, the fun of it would have been better to me if it would just kind of like highlight the thing and have you like press Y to activate it, as opposed to like pressing down and then trying to aim the thing. It's just kind of annoying, the same way that I guess there was more of like a mechanic for the painting the explodey shit. A little more satisfying. But the one that you get the balloon jump is actually kind of rad because it adds to the traversal. Fun. Not so bad. Yeah. So this actually is a pretty cool section. Once you get in there, you're kind of storming the Imperial base. This is where you're going high up into the fucking sky with Bode. And you fight Rick the door technician, dude.
Rick the door technician.
Okay, you were playing on normal?
Normal, yeah.
We're on Kobo now.
This is the
going to the observatory,
the floaty area. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, the Oculus or whatever.
Yeah, we're trying to get there. We're getting to the elevator. Rick is the last person you fight before the big ass elevator. I think that brings you like into the sky and you get the crazy view.
Yeah. So Rick the door technician.
So wait, how difficult Was Rick so for me, Rick the Door Technician was a one-hit kill.
Oh yeah, no, he was a one-hit kill, just like all the other like baton.
Okay, dope. That shit was so fucking good, dude.
It's so funny, dude. I laughed out loud at that.
It was like before his like title card could even come off the screen, he was laying fucking slumped on the ground in front of me, cut in half.
So I saw him at the end of the room, and I was like, this looks like a boss fight. Like the way
dude, it's so funny the way it is teed up.
And I walk into the hallway, and he says like a line of dialogue. He's like, "I'm not letting you through," or something along those lines, and starts charging at you as a full screen health bar appears. Rick the Door Technician, and I just parry him once and stab him, and he's just dead. And it says it's literally like legendary foe defeated or something like that.
Oh, so fucking sick.
It was so good. So good. I love when games like just do silly stuff like this. Like, I think this game was like, you know what, we're being a little too serious for the past couple areas.
Yep.
Let's just lighten up a little bit.
It was a good moment of levity, no doubt.
It was a great
and it was the
moment.
best like there's been a trend of that happening. I feel like the best like example recently has been opening fight scene of Ragnarok where you fight Thor and you die. And then you fucking respawn, you know? You like use the like crunch. They do that here twice, and I don't think it works very well.
They
Kinda
do that
feels
here
stupid.
Kind of twice.
Yeah, one of them was really stupid. We'll get to that.
But
then we take
really
the
stupid?
Yeah, because you respawn as somebody else. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was
it's
good.
okay. Okay, so we get up there.
They just like sing their name on the screen, bro. Okay, they just like to see their name.
The next thing is getting up into the fucking sky, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna talk when I sneeze.
Oh well, I mean that's where we were at, right? We were in the sky. We were right at
that was for me.
Final Dagon
I think
fight.
it came down to like when I was talking to you, I was like, this is my favorite part of the game, which it's tough. It's a tough call between that and that big set piece from
Jedi.
The drill. Yeah, with Marin, where I think that one is like gameplay wise more fun and it's concise and it's like this like 10-minute block. This is kind of more of like a full level that you're spending all the time in outside and puzzle solving and stuff. But I loved this shit. The TIE fighters in the fucking sky and all of the views that you get above Kobo was ridiculous. It was so much better than I thought it would be. Really like show-stopping shit.
In the distance.
Yeah, just the dome of it too.
Show my picture. Show my picture to the video viewers. Guys, okay.
What picture?
This is where I'll talk about it. The photo mode picture with the Lucre Hulk in the background.
Oh my god, you're such a fucking nerd.
I started doing photo mode, and I don't know why I did it in this game. Right whenever we were at that area. And it looks so cool. You can see like the lasers going into the sky and then the Lucre Hulk in the background because you're so high up. The Lucre Hulk's gigantic. You're like level with it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a beautiful scene. Beautiful scene.
Pretty good shit.
Yeah.
I like this section. There's like not that much to really talk about for this section.
No.
You're more just like ascending into the air with Bode. And then we're about to get into like the real shit. So, this is the area where I fought those two Jedi. Or they're not two Jedi, two bounty hunters that were using lightsabers.
Maybe I did fight them and I don't remember it because I definitely
they were both gold
area.
lightsabers too. Okay, so it's the last Dagon Gera fight where he has a fucking force arm, and we just kill his ass. Not much to it, right?
No, I mean we kill him.
We fight and beat the guy, and it's a pretty telegraphed false ending. To me.
Oh yeah, no, I was like, is this the end of the game?
I didn't think that. Like I was like, okay, so we're at like that weird point where something fucked up's gonna happen. So I immediately start getting super sussy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I was like, there's no way it's the end of the game, but it would make sense.
Yeah,
like, this is the big bad. Where do we go from here?
Correct. Which I don't love. I don't love this. This is where I start to have problems. Like the first thing, I actually don't have problems with it. I have problems with it in retrospect on where it kind of leads. I took a lot of just like kind of like emotional notes here, but I just tried to kind of like keep up with like my thought process. And Respawn, you can hire me. I'm available. I'm ready to roll if you want me to help you with Star Wars Jedi 3. But the first thing that I noticed is after we kill Dagon, Bode says he's going to stay behind. See if there's a manual for this thing or something. I was like, they pretty much always say they're going to stay behind, but it feels really weird that Bode's going to stay up there with the dead High Republic Jedi. So I thought something was up with Bode right off the jump. But then we go back to Jeddah to talk to Seer and report in on the fucking good news. Right? Oh, okay. We're fucking something up. There's actually something cool with the way that we do kill him. We kill him by using like a force vision.
Yeah.
We distort reality and we make him imagine his old Jedi master.
No, his old girlfriend.
That was his Jedi master, but yeah. Or Padawan, actually. Other way around? Who's who?
It was his girlfriend.
They're not girlfriend, boyfriend. They're fucking...
It was, what is name? What's her name?
It's the other High Republic Jedi, the black girl.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
Okay. So there's some force mind trickery going on there, which I think is new for an introduction to the Star Wars universe. I don't know if I had heard of it before, but we then go back to Jeddah to report on the good news, and everything feels fucking off to me, dude. The second that we get to Jeddah and we're reporting about like what's going on and everyone's standing outside and celebrating and sitting at the fucking campfire, and Cal offers to move the fucking relocate Seer's people, the hidden path, to Tanalorr, and Seer is just immediately like, yes, let's do it. Like, everything just started feeling really fucked up. So what I have written here is something so off. Seer accepting the relocation immediately is weird. Everyone's bailing. Bode's acting fucking weird and cryptic and bullshitting me. Cal's retiring and laying up with Bay. Has this dude been mind controlled since the battle with Garrett? So that's where I thought everything was. I literally thought up until the point where he has that conversation with Bode like one-on-one. I thought that everything was, the inverse of what happened with that Gara fight, where I thought Gara was actually playing like a long con and he was going to reveal himself to be Bode or show up at that campfire and fuck things up and start murdering people or something like that. I thought that it was the exact inverse, where Cal did a little mini mind control to think that he got the jump on him, but actually Cal killed Bode, and now Gara was Bode, and that reverse shit would reveal itself. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
No, I did have the thought whenever Cal killed Gara, I was like, was that actually Bode? I was waiting for like the swap to where like
it felt
where Dagon was like putting a skin on Bode or whatever.
Yeah, like it felt like there was something weird going on with the way that everything was being handled in that scene too. Like I felt like everybody was acting slightly out of character and was giving me more fuel to that thought of like, why would Seer just be like, all right, let's go?
Are you talking? Oh, you're talking about at the dinner, like at the campfire scene, right?
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay. Well, here's what I'm thinking. I didn't have a problem with any of that, but also the whole time I was sitting there thinking, why is Cal not sitting beside Marin? He's sitting across from her. They could be like holding hands right now or something. In front of your fucking
Jedi Master, bro?
Absolutely. Dude, she's chill. Seer's chill.
It's all really weird.
I think my horniness blinded me during that section.
Apparently so. You're hot for Marin.
No, I didn't think it was that weird. I mean, it makes sense for Seer to want to find somewhere safer. They already just had to evacuate one of their like satellite campuses to prevent the Empire from finding it. So it makes sense to me why Seer would want to go somewhere safer. I do think there should have been more questions of like, is this place safe? Like, why?
For sure.
Like, what caused things to go poorly in the past? Like,
it all felt like there was just some irrational shit going on.
Well, I think the entire game had some irrational stuff going on, because if we look back to when things went bad for Dagon, it was when Raiders or whatever invaded Tanalorr. But how did Raiders ever get to Tanalorr in the first place? How did they get a compass to go there?
I don't think it was.
No, they got invaded by enemies of some sort. It wasn't Jedi attacking them. It was
I guess you're right.
The Jedi were there training and they were attacked by someone. So I was like, if they can get there, why can't other people get there?
Yeah, I don't know.
The whole Tanalorr thing to me was like, is Tanalorr how they write off Cal and his group? Are they just going to settle on Tanalorr forever, and that's why they never appear in any of the
The
other
answer
Star
to a
Wars
certain point
extended
is
media?
yes, I think.
I think so. I think so.
It's almost like a different world between worlds type situation with Rebels. Like, now that you have people that are sort of like off the grid or in these like untraceable pockets, you can sort of have them loop in and out of stories however you please, which is a good way to get around like a series that's essentially a series of retcons.
It is, yeah.
But
I mean, they never could have planned for this back in the 70s when George Lucas was writing the originals.
Yeah.
But it does introduce these like canon questions. But overall I didn't have a problem with this section. I was happy to celebrate, kind of waiting for the when everything hits the fan.
Yeah, at this point, the story is feeling really weird to me. I don't like where it's going, and the fact that I build up once again, for the third time, I've got in my head this idea of something that I think should happen, and I think would have been cool. Like, I'm like, fuck, I wish he was getting forced mind controlled, because now I have to like sit with the fact that these people weren't acting weird; they were just acting normal, but they just happened to be weird. It just didn't sit right to me. And then in my head, I've got like
set yourself up for disappointment more than anyone else I know.
Respawn, if you're watching, if you're listening,
I think you.
I think that's some dope shit, dude.
Every time you're disappointed, it all boils down to you expected it to be this, but it was actually this. I think I just go in like
but when you accept
brain mode and just consume at the time, you know.
Yeah, if you go in and you expect good pizza and you get bad pizza, you're disappointed.
I got good pizza this entire game. This whole
I
game
got
was
okay
good
pizza.
to me.
I got pretty good pizza. I had a good pizza with a bad slice every once in a while.
I thought,
you know what I mean? Like they did a bad job spreading the sauce, and then there's too much cheese over the crust. It got burned.
No, I disagree. Right. But
so this is a thick section, and we're dwelling on like the first third of it. Bo double crosses. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're skipping an important part. Hold on. At the campfire scene,
He's
they all
retire.
go their separate ways, except for Marin and Cal, and they have a chat.
Fucking
and Marin says
Cal
something along
worshipper
the lines,
on this fucking podcast I'm trapped with right now.
And Marin says something along the lines of wisdom something, and Cal's like, you're starting to sound more like a Jedi or something. And then Marin says, well, they got some things right. And then Cal says, well, you know, they got some things wrong too. And
yeah, like boning.
Dude, he rizzed
like
her
sticking
up, bro.
P's and V's.
He said they got something wrong too, and then he grabs her hand.
I think I was in your stream at one. No, it was at the one prior to this. But one of the points I just typed in all caps, "Teach him sex."
And dude, literally, he's like, bro, I think I want to like settle down with you or something like along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
like,
that's still.
Let's go.
That's still. So I'm over here thinking like, yeah, this is some fucking phony ass bullshit. This is absolutely Dagon Gera is mind controlling this fucker to give him like this stupid ass fantasy that could never come true.
No,
I thought my version of Star Wars Jedi Survivor is so dope, dude.
No,
it's an 11.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, he ends up a virgin that's all alone.
No, he can still hit, but he just wouldn't be so simpy about it. Okay.
No, be simpy, bro. If you get a baddie, be simpy to a baddie. I don't care.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. I could still chalk it up as being some fucking bullshit.
Well,
Bo double crosses.
That was great. And then they start making out, and
dude, they fucking kiss. Yeah, dude, you're such a fucking coomer, bro. You're over here sending me. You send me a screenshot of them kissing, and I fucking typed back cringe.
Well, put it on the screen right now. Put it on the screen right now.
Cringe, bro.
I couldn't go into photo mode, so I took a screenshot of them making out.
Stop posting cringe in the group chat.
And I said, bro, this is it. This is it. I know that was my favorite part of the game.
Holy shit.
So, and then everything goes to hell, right?
Oh, yeah, Bo double crosses as we knew eventually that he would, and then It is kind of a cool series of events. You chase Bode on the fucking speeder bike, which is pretty fun. You love a nice speeder. And that was Chekhov's speeder. We had like walked past that speeder on multiple occasions.
We have,
and I've like looked at it and I've been like, I want to ride that fucking speeder, and sure enough, it's sitting there waiting for us. Felt nice. Really dope, really dope. Cal gets fucking knocked the fuck out, and then it does the revive thing, and you revive as Seer, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Respawn, not revive.
It should be noted that what's his name is dead now. He got shot by Bode on the way out.
Oh yeah, they killed the old man.
Yeah. Yeah, so you wake up as Seer, and Seer is like
you respawn as Seer. I don't know why they did that.
I liked it. I thought it was a good like transition.
I guess maybe you're respawning Cal, arguably, because Cal then again does show up a little bit after. So maybe it's just like
I thought it was
a weird
a good
transition.
I thought it was a good transition.
I think just kick me over to it.
I was not expecting it. I wasn't expecting to play as Seer at all. But you respawn
I have another
as Seer.
transition gripe too coming up. So good though. This section's so good. I gotta stop. I can't knock any of this. The whole Seer section is sick as fuck.
The Seer section, dude, you're one hitting like everything, even
on everything, dude. And she is so bossy in the way that her attacks are actually the same. I realized this after the fact, obviously, but when you tap into the dark side later on, the moveset that Cal gets, the way that he acts in the field, he kind of gets like more lungy and pokey with his lightsaber. It's the same moveset as Seer, basically. Only it's not slow-mo. So that's where you first feel like that kind of like impact. It's so fucking good though. Like it plays so well to the point of like, holy shit, are we gonna play a portion of this game, like a big portion of this game as Seer? And the answer is not really, but you play more Seer than I thought. Like that's like a full-on level. Like you're out there, you're platforming, you're doing puzzle solving. The fucking launching the missiles, the big bombs with force push into the AT-ATs and the AT-STs and shit was so fucking cool. Just really a fun fucking section. And then, dude, when you finally make it to the Mantis with Seer, she walks in and fucking Grease kicks open the door to the Mantis and he's quad wielding, bro.
Dude, he has 4 guns out. He said, hey, what's up, bro?
Quad wielding, dude. What a fucking legend. So they put the plan in place, and then fucking Vader shows up, dude.
Vader. Did you expect Vader to show up?
I didn't think they were gonna do it again. Like, yeah, that's why it caught me so off guard. I'm so glad that they did it too, because it's arguably like the most surprising thing. Which game is it? Is Battlefront 2 the one where you stumble upon to like Luke fighting frogs?
I think so. In the campaign?
There's like a bad cameo of Luke Skywalker at some point in the like modern Star Wars stuff.
I want to say it's 2.
I was like expecting to have a cameo akin to Vader, but have it be like, I guess my theory was like Yoda for a long time. Remember, like Yoda coming in to help out or something like that, or maybe like another villain or something like that. I don't know, but I didn't expect Vader double dip. And the best part of like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was the ending when Vader shows up, because you got Cal at the peak of his abilities. You just fucking wiped the floor with the Inquisitors. Like you just beat the game, and you're feeling on top of the world. You're the badass. You just beat the hardest fight in the game, and then to just show the power of Vader to show up and fucking mop the floor with Cal is just like, man. Every time Vader shows up, whether it's a Rogue One fucking Star Wars Rogue One hallway scene, or fucking the Obi-Wan rematch at the end of the series, like this era of Vader just being at the top of his fucking game is so sick. And for him to show up and give Seer the business, and then also like a good point for Seer to come so close to actually getting him too was really dope to like show Seer's power level. It just like enhanced it again even further. It was really fucking good. It was really good.
Can you show my pictures again?
Yep.
The Darth Vader fight was so good, and whenever you damage him and set his like cape on fire, and he's like all fiery,
yeah, dude, he comes back not happy.
It's so good. It's absolutely beautiful, and this fight does a really good job of showing how large Darth Vader is and how like imposing he is. I felt genuinely scared whenever Darth Vader was charging at me, and at the end, his moveset evolves throughout the fight, and at the end, he's just whamming on you as hard as he can.
He's fucking badass. It's really sick.
there's no universe. I say this, but they'll probably prove me wrong one day. There's no universe where they can overuse Darth Vader in these scenarios. Give it to me every time. Inject it into my veins. Give me more Darth Vader. Respawn. Make a game where I'm just playing as Darth Vader, going around destroying settlements. I love Darth Vader so much.
Yeah, it's like the Force Unleashed, dude, when you the tutorial level you play as Vader, and that was like, for me, that's one of the most impactful Vader moments fucking ever, is getting in there and like learning how to use Force grip for the first time and Force throw. You're fucking casting lightning and Force choking Wookiees, dude, throwing them off of buildings, bashing open doors. It is, ooh.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's the best.
It does not age very well, though. I played it recently, and
it's the fucking best. It doesn't matter if it doesn't age well. It's so good.
Yeah. It's good. It's
remake
good.
it.
Just
then.
doesn't age.
Respawn can remake
I think they should. I'm totally down for that.
That's another thing, is I want Star Killer to pop up in these fucking games.
Star Killer's technically not canon, though, is the problem. Because the whole Disney thing, like,
but neither was fucking, Cad Bane Cad Bane always was.
Yeah, because he was Clone Wars. Who?
Blue Man.
Who's Blue? Cad Bane?
No, other Blue Man. Imperial Blue Man. Big bad of fucking Ahsoka.
Thrawn.
Thrawn. Yeah, he was Legends only until they brought him back too. So, I mean, it can happen.
Well, I mean, he was in Rebels, though. So.
Yeah, but Rebels introduced him back into the canon. He was out.
Well,
he was out.
I mean, I'm fine if they reintroduce Star Killer.
Yeah,
I mean, they've already broken the rule of 2 or whatever it's called, right?
That's a fake. 2. That's a fake thing.
It's so dumb. That gets into some deeper issues with Star Wars, but
yeah.
So can you clarify this for me? Bode's lightsaber, that was his lightsaber, right? That wasn't Dagon's. Did he steal
I don't know,
that
man.
from
You gotta watch like a better Star Wars channel than this. This is just kind of talking about the game, because there's some weird shit going on. Like the concept of, I'm pretty sure, bleeding your kyber crystal is introduced in a really big way here, which it's been talked about before. But we literally see Garen do it at the start of his thing, because he goes from gold to fucking like red, but it's not like a pure red, because he's not a Sith Lord or something like that. So I'm not sure exactly the lore. Bring up the Wikipedia of
red. What does that mean?
Like, I don't think his lightsaber is as red as like Vader or Sidious's, because his kyber crystal is different, maybe, or hadn't been bled the right way.
I thought it was just as long as you kill a Jedi at some point, you could bleed your crystal. Maybe. I don't know what the rules are for bleeding your crystal.
Wikipedia.
It was cool to see it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know the answer, because I know like neither of these people are Sith Lords. You know what I mean? They're just like fallen Jedi or gray Jedi or whatever the fuck. Yeah. Anyway, Vader kills Seer and bails, and then Cal goes back to the Mantis. And here's another transition that I think is botched as fuck. They go, we gotta pursue blah blah blah. We got the tracker. We're going to Nova Garen to find Bode, who double crossed us. And then fucking everybody's all hyped up. It's Marin, Grease, Cal, and BD is all that's left. Yeah. And they say, all right, let's haul ass and go.
By the way, Vader killed Seer. She kind of like bested him and then decided to do a weird lunge attack that put her very close to Vader, and he just turned on his lightsaber and impaled her. So
it's sick. She almost does the same to him.
Well, I mean, did she not miss? I thought she went between his arms.
Yeah, she did. Vader probably gave him the old fucking juke, but
how do you miss that? You could have thrown your lightsaber.
Vader too fast. Vader known fast and nimble. Okay.
Whatever. He just kind of stumbles off.
Vader's hips don't lie, bro. He got the fucking motion of the ocean in there. You can't be hitting them like that.
Oh man.
Okay, so everyone gets super hyped up. There's this moment, dude, where they're like, we gotta go to Nova Garen and track this motherfucker. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. In. They put their hands on top of each other and they go, Star Wars on 3. 1, 2, 3. Star Wars. And they throw their hands in the air. It's not exactly that, but it's like this big hype up moment. Grease says, you guys grab some seat, I got the cons. And then you'd think that you're just gonna like zoop, but instead it just gives you control, and it's like, access the holo table. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Like it was like a super hype, like in pursuit moment, and then all of a sudden it just like kind of kicks you to a menu, and I have to like access
I
the
thought about going
laggy ass
around and
holo
doing,
table.
like, 12 side quests in between.
I know.
that and,
You gotta
like,
do the fucking laggy ass holo table and then walk to the front of the ship and wait for Grease to fly it and then have him tell you to take the seat. Then you sit down and then you finally land there and then you're back in action. It just like it takes you out a little bit. Like there must be a way to program that to just zip me over to Nova Garen and have me like keep that momentum story wise. You know what I mean? That's like a technical programming thing. I feel like.
No, I think that was just a choice of they don't want to shove you into one mission right after the other. Give you a choice of when you want side quest versus when you want to.
I guess, but even that could have given me one of those things on the bottom there to be like haul ass or take a second.
Yeah,
because even story wise, when you get there, it's all on a time crunch anyway. I feel like they should just.
Is that the point of no return at that point?
Mm-mm.
No, that wasn't the point of no return. So then, if they have you
I think they should have jammed you into it still.
I think I don't care either way. I don't. That didn't bug me that much to walk to the holo table.
I really wrote down it cuts to accessing the holo table and picking a destination and waiting around for it to land like a jerk off. Anyway, you get to Nova Garen, and man, I loved this actual section of the fucking game. I loved Nova Garen. Did you like Nova Garen as much as I did?
Yeah, Nova Garen was good. It was small, contained, and very like angular. You know what I mean? Like that that Empire feeling.
That's the part
like
that I liked the most. Like, and then putting on the fucking ill-ass white garb that the ISB does. The
dude, what a Star
Imperial
Wars
Security Bureau. It's so fucking sick. And it also.
I thought for sure we were going to see a Inquisitor there.
Yes,
because they were talking about the Inquisitor.
How they have like they were talking about their guests or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought that as well. I had a think a weird glitch there. A couple funny things. Like I was supposed to be undercover, but I was still wearing my crazy ass fucking hair with the headband on, so I looked so fucking out of place. And there was one point where I think BB-8. Oh my god, BB-8. That's so bad. BD-1 is like supposed to hop off of your back. To like Cal has like a voice line where he's like if they see you our cover's blown, but BD-1 never gets off my back. He just glitched out and fucking like spasmed on my back the entire time. Dude,
he hit like a vent for me.
Got it. Yeah, pretty funny.
This is also where you meet Kata.
Kata. Oh, I forgot. I got all these fucking images that I should have been using. I got a little fucking picture of Kata, but I forgot. I didn't show the Marin one. I didn't show the fucking.
That's when they made out.
Oh yeah, you did take care of that. I like Kata.
Yeah, she's not an annoying child like most children.
No, Star Wars has been, I think, very particular about their child actors since fucking Jacob Lloyd. In episode 1 and the backlash that that poor kid fucking got. Like they nailed it with, I think the easiest comparison to make is Leia in Obi-Wan.
Oh my, so good.
Nailed it, right? And like this is a character that's endearing too. You're never gonna believe this, but I've got a problem with the way that they portrayed Kata though, in that it seemed like obviously she is set up to be a Jedi or a Padawan to Cal at some point. Skipping ahead here. But at no point, I feel like it would have been pretty easy for them to
show that she was
her force sensitive. Yeah, just you know, it's very implied. Possible. You know, she's the daughter of a powerful Jedi or once powerful Jedi. But I wish they would have just gone the whole way there. The fact that it's not there is a little annoying.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I have a problem with that. I think it's also the question of, is that being saved for DLC? There was no DLC for the first game, like
I don't
story
think
DLC
for this game. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's always that question of how much do they want to show? Also, there was a book between the first game and the second game, so it's like, are they gonna write a book about it? I don't know.
Yep. This is where Cal
I feel that
embraces the dark side as well for the first time.
It is, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's rad. It replaces your L3 R3 move and basically slows down time the same way, but gives you a different move set. It basically gives you Seer's move set.
And you like 1 to 2 hit everything.
Yeah. For me, everything is now 1 hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just tear through everything. which is really nice. It was a good power trip moment. I love those moments.
Yep.
This is also when Marin kind of like pulls you back. You're about to kill someone.
Yeah, you're being a real fuckboy.
It only matters because you're in a cutscene, I guess. But Marin's like, "Don't do it, Cal. Find yourself," or something.
Yeah, you were gonna kill the bad man leader of the ISB or whatever.
It only matters when you kill the leaders in a cutscene. Other than that, just slay everyone that comes.
For sure, I've racked up like 900 bodies in this game so far, and now all of a sudden,
at a minimum, yeah,
right,
yeah. But you know, I was kind of waiting for the Anakin, like, you lied, you know, and like slamming her into the ground or something. I was afraid that Cal would lose control and like lash out at Marin. But he didn't, which I was glad about.
So now, let's talk about Bode's motivations at this very moment.
So, I get Bode's motivations, I think.
Bode's motivations right now are he was put to infiltrate their team by the director's orders, I believe. And then from there, he was put up by the Empire? By Vader? By who, question mark?
No. He was just put up by that team.
Just by the ISB?
Just by the ISB to infiltrate, because the ISB does not like the Inquisitorius. So ISB is trying to prove themselves using Bode to take down Cal, right? And then Bode sees a chance. Bode's only working for them because he wants to make a better life for his daughter. Okay. So when he learns about Tanalorr, he sees a chance to get his daughter out of there.
So then he's on his own mission once he gets the Tanalorr codes to get to Tanalorr with his daughter.
Yes.
To make a new safe life.
The reason he lured Cal to that area is to kind of get them off the trail of Bode. Like, they kind of distract him with Cal.
Big diversion.
Cal can also inadvertently destroy evidence of Bode and where he went.
Right. So then there's a really short moment where you go back to Kobo. It's like a half mission where you go and you have to set the array to get yourself to Tanalorr via some sort of fucking magic. There's been 9 different ways to get to Tanalorr, and now there's only one way to get there that was taken from you, but now there's a secret 10th way to get to Tanalorr, but you just have to go and reset the very first thing that you ever found by putting in secret codes from a video or something. The one part that I did like about this is the quick conversation between Grease and Cal on the radio about who to bring, someone who's like reckless. Maybe Turgle. It's like, maybe not Turgle.
Maybe not Turgle.
And they send fucking Z, which I think was cool too. Who took care of business. And then, you know, long story short, we zoop off to fucking Tanalorr. We get the Greasy Does It line, which is hot ticket. And we get that very corny but very Star Warsy, and I approve of. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Jake's gonna have a fucking problem with them making out again. I don't have a problem there. It's a good scene. Dude, that's a very Star Warsy scene when they do the hyperspace blind and then they fucking hit there and Grease is still screaming and they're fucking making out. It's good.
I literally have in my notes, gang makes the hyperspace jump to Tanalorr. Grease is still screaming. Cal and Marin just start making out.
Yeah, dude.
Like, as soon as they land, Grease is like, ah! And then Cal and Marin just instantly turn and start making out. And I'm like, yes, my boy, boy.
These two, I have written down, these two just fucking locking lips all the time. And then Tanalorr is nice, but it's not even like a world. Like, there's nothing to explore there, really. But it looks cool on your way to the fucking cave. So I have written down here, now that final fight, they have the long conversation before it's like a fight, and Bode's being a fucking jerk off. Tell me Bode's motives now.
So Bode, I think Bode doesn't want other people to come there. I don't think he wants to fight anymore. So by bringing like the order or whatnot, the hidden path to Tanalorr, he's afraid that the Empire will catch scent and attack and find Tanalorr themselves. Bode
It just feels like Bode's
have a happy home for his daughter.
It feels a little bit like now it's like a bridge too far. It's been pushing it this whole time for like what Bode's motives are, and now that Cal is there and Merrin is there and Grease is there and he's already there, I feel like the answer is just like stop, fold it in. You know what I mean? Like either try to make amends or go find a new plan, because the jig is up. So I feel like the fact that it becomes a fight to the death with Bode is a really far-fetched, like especially with the whole thing, safety for his daughter being the key.
I agree, but the problem is Bode is affected by the dark side, where Kata says after her mom died, her dad changed.
Yeah,
and he's been different ever since. So I
Tale
think
as old as time.
Yeah, he's not rational because he is affected by the dark side. He got what he wanted, and then when he sees Cal there, he's threatened and will do whatever it takes to protect his vision, I guess. Which in the meantime, he puts his daughter in very grave danger by blasting her and whatever. But
yeah, it just all seems a little wonky.
I think it, it's the same as, the end of Return of the Jedi, as the Force Awakens, as the Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin freaks out when Padme shows up with Obi-Wan. He can't be rational there because he's fallen to the dark side, You
turned her against me?
Yeah. So I think it's very similar situations there. That cause, like, there is no rational thought there. And
space,
at that
space
point,
pussy got people be acting up, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
you lose one wife and it's the end of the world.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, then you kill Bode. Pretty good fight. I had a good time with it.
Ending with a blaster is rad.
Ending with a blaster.
Ending him with just fucking
good.
two, like the double tap shots, was pretty badass.
Yeah, it was good. Merrin almost bit the dust right there. I thought Merrin was.
I didn't think. Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't think that was gonna happen.
I was afraid that they had just set up this romance, and then Merrin was gonna die, and then the next game would be Cal struggling with the dark side, possibly.
I felt like everybody was good to go once they killed Seer and Old Boy. I was like, okay, that's enough bloodbath. Like, that's like the thing that I was thinking the whole time is like from the point where they all put their fucking hands together and shoot off to Nova Garen. I was like, okay, this is the squad that makes it out of the game. I don't think they're killing Grease. I don't think they're killing Merrin, and BD1's going to be fine. Like, at that point, you'd be taking too many players off of the board going into like a sequel. You know what I mean?
Well, and my thought was, is this game called Jedi Survivor because he's the only one that makes it out?
Oh, yeah, that would have been pretty good.
Because he's the only survivor of what's going on. But it's.
You like the name of this game?
It's better than Jedi Fallen Order.
It is better than Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think either of them are particularly strong names.
I don't think they're.
I also think it should have been Jedi Survivors, maybe, like plural.
Star Wars Jedi Survivors. That's what the next one's called. That's the next one.
Please,
Star Wars Jedi Survivors.
All right, what do you think the next one's gonna be?
It's gonna be Star Wars Jedi. Oh God, Jedi Reckoning, or something.
Ooh,
I don't know. Star Wars
pretty
Jedi
good.
Reckoning.
Star Wars Jedi Academy. Oh wait, that's already taken. I was thinking of like a mashup, like what, Star Wars Jedi Surviving Order. Like a combination of the first two games.
Imagine
I don't know.
trying to Google anything about that game. You would be lost in
such
search
a fucking
results.
mess. Oh shit.
I think Merrin's monologue at the end was really good. I liked it.
I remember you texted me that, and I don't even remember anything about it.
It was her monologue to Kata about not letting loss and like anger consume.
Oh yeah, it felt pretty run of the mill, but it's good. It's
I thought it was really good. But I also just like Merrin as a character. A couple more notes that I have. Oh, it should be noted at the end here, they make like funeral pyres for Cordova, Seer, and Bode, and they burn them. They watch, and then Kata places her little stuffed animal on Bode's funeral pyre.
Yeah, pretty good. And then the only thing left is the lightsaber at the end. It's pretty cool. And like
The lightsaber was left.
Yeah, burning all three of those bodies was good though. I liked that scene. I did catch me off guard. They do like the weird effect that you see in movies sometimes, where one character is super still and then there's like super fast motion going on. Yeah, like to show that time is elapsing. When that first happened, the game had been like so kind of like janky and shit like that throughout the whole thing. Of like, I was like, oh, like, is this a problem? Yeah, she's supposed to be moving like that.
I was there and I was like, is this a bug? And then I realized what was going on.
Yeah.
And then Cal sees Seer's Force Ghost, and she says,
"Protect
her or teach her or something about referencing Kata."
Yeah.
So and then credits hit.
I think he says
Star
guide
Wars
her.
Jedi Survivor. I loved it. Let's see. I have some like random notes.
Yeah, I just have Cal just shoots Bode dead, LMAO. And then I said kind of on the ending, training Kata, I guess, is the end of what's probably now a trilogy. And then I liked 40 to 90% of this game in that order. Like, the last 10%, the whole thing on Tanalorr, and basically, I don't know, I got super kind of turned off by that whole ending from the point of Seer's death on, or really before that, from the point of Garen's death on. I was kind of questioning the direction that we were going, and it never quite resolved for me. I am sounding a lot harsher. It was always tough when we're a two-person podcast and one person is super hot on something, and then it forces the other one to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit. And like, I'm still rating this game like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10, and I fucking loved it. But I just like, I thought there were some things that could have been cooler or better or done in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still give this game a 10. It was like, it got better and better and better as I went. It was fun. I love the combat. I love the combat so much. And it like fulfilled like, the Marin Cal romance. I love seeing Grease. Grease is hilarious. Any line Grease says, I'm listening.
Yeah,
to
Grease is a fucking all-timer Star Wars character.
Yeah, and his voice actor, like, there were some scenes where Grease was pretty emotional, and I was like, that's good voice acting.
Yeah,
like,
I think
good.
It's probably worth noting, people knock on Cal bad, dude.
They do.
Bad. I fucking hate it. I think he's really good. I like him as a Star Wars character.
Cal, yeah.
I think he's an awesome fucking Jedi. Yeah. I think he's like a super, like, in a way, like, modern take on a Jedi. Like, I don't think like you could write a Jedi like Cal in the 1970s or like even in like the 90s when you were doing like the prequels, the early 2000s. He's very much like a 2023 Jedi, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, he's like a moody sad boy, like he's been through shit and it's fucking affecting him, and I dig it. Like, who's the actor?
Cameron Monaghan.
I think he does a fucking great job.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce his last name.
Yeah, probably.
But no, I think it's great. I like Cal. I think people that hate on Cal, I don't know. They just, what do you want, man? He's a good character.
It's like straight white males can't do anything right.
I know, right?
That's a fucking joke. That is a fucking joke. Comments. Jesus Christ.
I think this game gives perfect doing everything we can to survive, but losing everything in the process vibes. Like, I think, like, especially Cal's acting alone, you really see where he's struggling to, like, is this fight worth it? Like, I'm losing everything, like I lost my master back in the Purge. I lost my friend in the first game that I
was sad we didn't see any more of him. We even mean flashbacks or anything.
Oh, Jaro Tapal?
Yeah, because he's dope, dude.
Yeah. It was cool.
That was one of my favorite parts of the first one, was seeing those flashbacks to that era.
Yeah, I agree. And also, he is also in the database in this game with a picture of him.
Nice. Yeah, he's a fucking badass. He's the same race of people that Zeb is, right?
I don't know. I don't think
Harry Purple Man. I'm pretty sure he's Zeb's race.
I don't think so, because he died very quick in the Clone Wars. There's Ravis. Hold on, I'm looking at Ravis right now. Oh, maybe they are the same. I mean, they got the same no-nose type thing.
A Lasat. Yeah. L-A-S-A-T. Lasat, I believe.
Oh, that's not what Ravis is.
No, Ravis is not the same. I'm talking about Jarotapal.
Ravis is Jedi.
Yes, that's a different thing. Yeah, Jarotapal is indeed a Lasat as well.
Wait, who are you saying Jarotapal is like? I thought you were saying he's like Ravis.
No, I was saying he's like Zeb Aurelios from Rebels.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was confused there. I was thinking of purple people, but they are beside each other in the database, and they do look very familiar.
Yeah, for sure.
Purple that's people back to, like, with no nose.
That's back to like the very first thing that we were talking about in this whole podcast was like how Star Wars does have an affinity for big purple motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You said you had some other random stuff written down.
Yeah, Monk, the barkeeper.
Really good. Cool. Yeah. You haven't talked much about random ass NPCs.
Yeah, that jar of liquid on his head. Don't know what that is, but he was cool. I like the barkeeper.
Gunk.
When you walk down the stairs in this game, it looks like your hair is charged by static electricity.
Like, yeah, it does be flowing kind of.
It just kind of like sits up on your head.
Yeah, the physics engine is like really good in some ways and also kind of like a mess in other ways too. Like if you just sit there and like do the classic like rotate your left control stick and move Cal around, he moves around like there is no such thing as gravity. It's like every turn that he makes is like the Michael Jackson fucking super lean. It's all very interesting.
So there was the gardener. Did you meet the gardener in this game?
I met the gardener just out in the field. I never found a single flower to plant.
Dude,
I went up there
I
like
just finished my garden earlier.
Nice. Yeah, I never found. How do you find seeds?
They're literally just plants that have like fireflies flying around them, and if you smack them, you pick up the seed from them. I'm surprised you didn't get one on accident.
I think I know. I've seen like the little green particles and stuff, and I tried to press R3 on them, and I couldn't. I didn't know I was supposed to cut them. That makes sense.
Yeah, you just hit them with your lightsaber.
You cut the plants.
I literally just have a note. It says, "Man, it must suck to get a Star Wars gig and only talk about fake plants." Because whenever you go back and talk to her, all she does is tell you facts about the plants that you get. When Fallen Order came out, they had these flyers at Walmart that had codes for BD1 skins. And I worked at Walmart, so I took a giant stack of these flyers and started giving them out on Reddit, and I gave out maybe like 300 BD1 skins for Fallen Order to people on Reddit.
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
Dude, it was great. I was like, maybe Respawn will give me something. They didn't.
For stealing from Walmart?
I don't know, man. You know, they were free. They were free flyers.
They were free. You can't steal something.
I just took a whole stack of them because nobody else was taking them.
Sure.
Oh, in the Darth Vader fight, you get into a like tangle with lightsabers, and Darth Vader puts his hand up and holds your lightsaber there while he regains like his stance. It's so good. Just
dude, it's all put together really well.
So good.
The Vader shit is fucking prime time. Game is awesome, dude.
It's so good. I thought the Seer death scene was really good and like emotional when Cal comes into the frame, and Cal's like weeping. I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
And then right when we go to there was a point where I started meditating and the points started turning red as I was meditating, and I was like, I literally have a note. The meditation points are becoming red instead of a gray/blue. Is Cal drifting towards the dark side? And then right after I wrote that, I unlocked the power for Cal to embrace his darkness.
Oh, no shit. That's a cool touch.
Yeah, so the meditation points and like skill points thing does that. And then right as Grease is about to fly off into the void in hyperspace, he says, "Greasy does it, baby."
Yeah, I have that written down too. Greasy does this good shit.
Greasy does it, baby.
Yeah, man. Jedi Survivor. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a spoiler for you. Something we haven't talked about. I didn't do any side quests or anything like that, but my YouTube algorithm knows me better than I know myself, and thank God I didn't see this until after I finished the game. Despite it not being there, when I saw this thumbnail, I was like, this must be some sort of fake clickbaity shit. Boba Fett is in this game.
Oh.
So I clicked on the scene and I was like, is this some sort of bullshit? What I grasp is is that at the end of the bounty hunter quest chain, if you kill all the bounty hunters, there is a scene where the last bounty is on the girl with the fucking big hat who's been chilling with you the whole time, the girl who runs the bounty stuff. And Boba Fett shows up to take her in. And there's like a 4 or 5 minute long scene. It's worth checking out if you're not going to do the whole quest. But it is very cool. It's voiced by Tamura, and it sounds fucking I think it's voiced by. Wow. It could be Bradley Baker or whoever does the Clone Wars and stuff like that. But it's really good, and it's somewhere between like it's like an amalgamation of like the Boba that we know. It's somewhere between like Empire, Jedi, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian. You know, he's still thin for that era, but he's kind of like honorable too. They have like a pretty like straight up conversation about like she's trying to say like, don't let him take me. He's like, I'm not gonna get in the fucking way.
I mean, this is between the prequels and the sequels, so this is before he even worked with Vader, right?
No, this is between.
Yeah. This is between the prequels and the originals.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry. Yeah, so this is before he went to the Sarlacc pit or anything, because that's how.
Oh, you're right. This is before we ever see Boba.
This is the first. Yeah. So aside from the Clone Wars, this is the first time that we ever see. Attack of the Clones.
Where does this take place alongside Rebels? Don't even fucking worry about it. Listen to a podcast that knows Star Wars better. We know video games and like Star Wars.
I think this is like.
We don't know like Star Wars and like video games.
15, 20 years after the Purge.
ABY or BBY?
ABY. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's BBY. Battle of Yavin. Return of the Jedi is the mark in which we measure all Star Wars years. So if we're in like 15 BBY, it's 15 years before the Battle of Yavin, which is 15 years before Return of the Jedi, which is my estimate of when this takes place. And then ABY is like, you know, it's like 20 ABY would be like Force Awakens. It's 20 years after the Battle of Yavin. Battle of Yavin 4, which is the...
This is 9 BBY.
Yeah, all right. I wasn't far off. So it's 9 years before Jedi, which means it's probably like 5 or 6 years before A New Hope or something like that. I want to say that takes place in a pretty rapid amount of time. I don't know. Let's close this thing out. What else? Anything else you got to talk about for Jedi Survivor? I feel like we did a, pretty bad job of going through the story, all things considered. Okay. But I think it allowed us to get our thoughts out, onto paper, and we have to loop it around something. We could probably have framed the opening of the episode better.
I want it to be known, Obi-Wan takes place in 10 BBY. This game takes place in 9 BBY, so this happened after Obi-Wan.
Nice.
So, no, dude, I just love this game. I'm gonna grind out the platinum before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. I could not be. The only way I could be more happy with this game is if the performance was better on launch. They could have delayed it by like 6 months, fixed things up, and I think this game would be an easy 10 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a little more time in the oven would have been good.
For the people that watch SpoiList and also GameList.
Let's loop this in. Let's loop this into the whole thing. We'll talk about this game in a much more abbreviated state in just a couple of days on our episode of May GameList proper, which is our podcast about our game of the year 1 month at a time. Please follow and subscribe. We love you. And in this, we rank our game of the year as we go. So right now, as it stands, let me bring up my game of the year list and yours. So my game of the year list, if we're just talking about everything. Ooh, this is a spoiler. Here's a spoiler on your SpoiList for the next episode of GameList.
That's not allowed, bro. That game didn't come out this year.
Mine did. Chia, which is my number 1 game of the year. Number 2 is Xenoblade Future Redeemed. That's your special.
It didn't come out this year, bro.
Listen, you have Destiny 2 on yours, bro. I don't want to fucking hear it. 3 is Hogwarts Legacy for me, and then 4 is Jedi Survivor. It's above Theatrhythm, Hi-Fi Rush, and Prime Remastered. So it's a top 5 game. Will it stay there? I don't know. Zelda comes out in a week and a half.
Sure.
What about you?
Currently, my list is 1 is still Hogwarts Legacy. It surprises me that it has stayed that high this long.
Yeah.
2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. 3, Resident Evil 4 remake. 4, Dead Space remake, and 5 is Dead Island 2. A surprise.
I might like this game more than Hogwarts. I don't know. I slotted it in below, but
yeah, they both hit the nostalgia aspect for me growing up on Star Wars and in Harry Potter. But I think like the only reason I think Hogwarts Legacy is higher is because I've already had other Star Wars games, and like Hogwarts was so magical that it was so magical and like flawless. Like I had no bugs, no performance issues.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's why I think Star Wars is a spot behind it. But yeah, that does it. I would say, I feel like we take too long on our plugs sometimes, because if you're just like an internet person that was able to find us in some way, whether it's through a podcast or a YouTube video, then you're smart enough to do what we want you to do, which is like click our names on other platforms or say something nice or click a thumbs up arrow. Like, you guys know the drill. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it.
Greasy does it, baby.
Greasy does it, baby.